Great. I'll use you, Thomas. I'll use you, yep. So one of the takedown entries we learned last time was the we'll start from the turtle position. So go from the snap down. So Thomas does the snap down. We learned this last time, boom, and he does the snap down and he gets on top. Instinctively, I want to try and get out of here right away. I don't want to let him try and get to the side. So what I can do from here is I can try and grab one of the legs and start coming up to be able to get him close, push him down, and get up. I want to get on top before he can get settled in and get in good turtle position and move to my side. Right? So that's one option. So boom, he can get in here, we start wrestling, he does the snap down, he gets me down. I gotta grab his leg instantly. The minute we make contact, if he doesn't sprawl out in time, I'm looping around, I'm coming in tight. I'm gonna drive him until I can get him down. I can get it nice and tight. The other thing we can do is the switch out that we did for warm-ups. Again, we get in here, we're wrestling, he does a snap down, boom. Instantly when I get here, if he kind of starts to get settled down and is getting ready to move, I want to follow him. But you notice how I'm kind of keeping one leg up and I'm keeping my hand in front of him. This is the side I'm going to switch out on. It's kind of telegraphing it, but I got to do it as he's moving around because I got to stay with him. So he starts moving around in direction. I don't really want to spin out, but if it happens, it happens. But I'm here, I'm on top now. And I'm gonna stay tight and I get my seatbelt grip right away, right? With the switch out though, I wanna make sure while he's not moving, when I switch out, I step through and I'm looking at the sky. Don't turn around like I just did. If it happens, like I said. That's just a heat of the moment thing. But ideally, if you can, turn into them. Don't go around. Once you step out, come back. Because you notice how I'm farther back? That's better than being closer up. So then all he's got to do, if I'm closer up, is he can grab onto my leg and he can just drive me back. Right? So we'll do those two things. So again, just very quickly, we get in here, we're wrestling around, he does the snap down, I instantly am going to drive into him. And when I'm driving, I'm grabbing with one leg, and I'm pushing forward until he comes down. And I can come around. Side control. So that's the first one. What we'll do, the second one, is to switch out while we're doing the snap down. So boom, he's starting to try and move around. I post out and I'm pushing him off. And then I come around and I try and get seatbelt. The biggest thing is with this one is I'm trying to get my elbow, see how it's going in by his armpit. If I do it up in here, I'm gonna get caught. I can't get out. So I gotta make sure I'm going between the armpit and his leg. And as it goes out, I'm looking up. Just push my leg through. And I follow up. And I come up. Make sure you're not hugging in, both arms down by the belly. Because all he's gotta do is grab, roll. When we come over, go for the seatbelt or just hands up on the side and staying in heavy and pushing him over because he's gonna be forced to feel like he's gotta move a lot. Okay. We'll start with those and then we'll go on to the next thing. From the north-south turtle position, the fade to guard. It's another one you can do from there. So he did the snap down, we land down in here. This time I want to make sure I'm staying away, and if he starts moving around, I'm going to follow him the whole time. And if I can, I'm going to back up, and I'm just going to stick my head out and pull him into guard. Let's fade to guard. Right, that was just one that I had forgotten. For whatever reason, despite it being on our syllabus stuff. So pretty much all I'm doing, turn. So he comes down without moving. All I'm doing is I'm flicking a foot inside. I kind of like to switch out and poking my head out to the side. And I find it works better as I pull him in with my head in behind up in here. So we'll turn around so you can see what I mean. So we fall back. So do it this way. Mistake in keeping my hands out in front of me. I flick my foot inward. I stick my head out, and I kind of guide him with the back of my head as I'm going in the guard. So I guide him in with it, and I find that kind of helps make this go a little more smoothly. And you notice how it allows me to kind of pass the head off to the side. I can even get a bear hug sweep or something from here, and I can push him over and get anything from there. I'll get you to come over to this side. It's a little easier for me to do. Good. Oh, thank you. So with the Granby roll, oh, I did the wrong shoulder. Stepping one leg up, and the leg that's down is when I'm gonna roll my shoulder over. I'm gonna roll, and I'm kind of keeping the leg that's close to him is staying hooked or staying attached as I roll around, and I try and grab him in. Even if I don't grab him in, and I even end up with a knee shield or something, I'm in a better spot than I just was. So now I've got some kind of defense worked up. He stands up, now I can start working my game. So again, quickly with the Granby roll, this is part of the purple belt syllabus. So I step up, if he's starting to get a lot of pressure and I feel I'm getting ready to attack, I'm going to start kind of pushing back to let him know I'm not going to let him get anything. So he's going to start trying to get rambunctious and start fighting. Oh, sorry. That's fine. If he starts to fight and he starts to get things, that's perfect timing. That's getting him distracted so I can get into this position. I'm just going to roll. You're not going to get in the guard every single time. If you can get in the guard, sure, go for it. But as long as you're getting out of that side position, all I'm doing is I'm going from turtle, step up, tuck my shoulder through, and I'm just trying to sit up pretty much. It's a relatively easy thing to do. It's very quick. So we'll do that quickly. Everything, and we get into where he's got the actual turtle position or the back position. So we went through all this. He moved around from north south to the side. I can't get anything. Now he gets his hooks in. Right. I've got a couple things I can do from here. There's one in gi. I can't really do it no gi, but pretty much all it is I can try and buck him forward and start pulling him off with gi, pretty much reeling him off. And at a basic level where he's not sitting low. Right now he's sitting low, he's got a good back position. He's not high, so what a high position looks like is he's really high up. So lock it all up, get your hooks in, actually sit on me. He's high. He's pretty near falling off himself. If I feel this is happening, I'm just gonna buck him off. And he's pretty much lost everything. Right? So that's why when we get into this position, so he comes back, we sit pretty much our butt to the ground. You're still fairly high right now. So sit really low. So your ear should be able to touch my back. Almost. Yep. So this is a good back position. He's pretty much peeling me back. I've got to go with him if he's sitting like that. And now I'm in a position I don't want. So what we're doing here is I'm going to try and get this. I don't really know what to call it. It's something I kind of discovered, but it works really well. It's the minute he gets his hooks out, but he's got his seatbelt, but he's getting ready a few set his hooks in. The minute he starts getting a hook in, I'm gonna grab on the foot and I'm gonna rip that foot, that whole leg, I'm ripping it right across. I'm gonna drop my shoulder down to the ground. And it's gonna throw him over to his back. And it's gonna stop him from getting back position. So he's got his hook in, and I do step up. But that's just to help really drop the shoulder forward. So I rip him off, and he's gonna fall right over. Right? Sure, I'm kind of in a guard, but he's on his side, but I'm in a good position. I've got control of the foot. All I gotta do, whereas I'm stepping up on one leg, all I gotta do is I can push that foot away, drive my leg through. It's uncomfortable and brutal. I can walk through, and I've got this side control position. So again, where this works best, it can work if he gets both hooks set in, but where it works best is the minute he's starting to get those hooks in, is where I'm gonna catch him off balance the best. I'm grabbing right on the heel or right above the ankle. I'm pulling it across, and even that on its own will kind of force him to slip off. But as I'm doing that, I drop the shoulder, and I'm stepping up. The shoulder drop makes it harder for him to be able to, it seems like it'd be easier, but it makes it harder for him to get any back control. Because he's gonna climb against me. I'm pinning his body by dropping my shoulder to the ground. I can rip the foot away, step through in the leg, and I can come around in the side control. That one works really well. Pretty simple, pretty easy. With that one, you can get it if they get both hooks in, and even if they're get a really good setup in, like he's really tight, really good, locked in good, and he's hugging me tight. Right? You'd think that this would be hard to get out of. It can be, but as long as I can grab that foot and rip him off, he's gonna go. Then I just push away, and I can start fighting through. That's my favorite way of getting them off the back the minute they get their hooks in. Right? So let's go with that. That's going through the snap down, getting into turtle. Now we'll go through the other takedown that we kind of went with. So the duck under, or it can happen with the arm drag, is when they get to my back from standing. So whichever Thomas does, he does the arm drag and he gets to my back. If I don't stop it here, he's gonna just be able to take my back instantly. So there's a few things I can do here. First off, if I can, I'm gonna try and fight the arms to get them off so I can turn around into them. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the hand that's facing towards the ground. He's got gable grip. I'm gonna grab the hand that's facing downwards, and if I can, so hold it really tight, I'm gonna start fighting that one. Whatever I can do to be able to get around, if I can get a single leg in. The reason why I'm going for the bottom one is eventually, so we come back in, it's the one that's going to be easier to attack versus this one. I'm now pressing against a hand that's trying to go up and one that's trying to go down. Rather than up, I'm just going with one that's already pushing kind of down. Right, so he holds it really tight, and I'm gonna go with it. And as you can see, if he's really hold it really tight, don't let me get out. Doesn't matter how much strength he has, it's gonna go eventually. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping kind of my side to him for the reason of being able to grab this leg. I don't want to allow him to get to my back. So if he starts getting in, I'm just going to try and get my arm in behind his knee as I'm pushing around. If I can start to grab. And I can come in and grab for a single leg. And I can trip him down. Right? So that's one thing we can do. Another one is we get in here again. We come in, but he comes more to my back, but he does this. His leg's nice and close to me. All I gotta do is if I can try and pull it up, we can come down. I can initiate and kind of end up on top. That'd be a scramble scenario if I can. I just want to try and reef his leg up in between my legs. So again, if he comes right to my back and his leg starts to poke through, the lower you can get, I'm just gonna pull it right up in between my legs. And in a higher level situation, I can drop it into an ankle lock, or I've got a knee bar right there. So in that position, just to keep a reminder, don't let your leg come through the middle if you're in Thomas's position. Don't let this happen. Because all they gotta do is grab and pull, and you're gonna go down. Doesn't matter how good of a grip you got, you're gonna go down. Okay? So make sure when you're here, you're staying nice and wide and away. But again, even if he does kind of stay nice and good, if I can start to back up into him, as long as I can wrap my leg around, I'm okay with going a little bit forward, half to reach, but his leg's trapped, I can rip it up. We can go down. So let's go over those, let's do those two, and that should be good enough for the night.